These are Dave Elliott bits. He is a master bit maker out of Canada, and he's linked onto the website. When we have a bit that slips, we have green light when it's sitting in the horse's mouth at the bottom. As the bit starts to slide, this is yellow light. If it hit the top, it would be red light. We don't ever want this bit to go clear up to red light. We want that horse to make his move while it's in the yellow light zone. This is going to ask a horse for roundness because it's saying, I'm coming, make a move, make a move. It's not abrupt. It is very forgiving. It's very kind. The more times a bit is broken in the middle, the more forgiving it is. So a little chain is very forgiving. The bigger in diameter, the more forgiving it is. The teensy tiny wires are the ones that we find that we have to be very delicate with them. Okay, so the bigger it is, the more times it's broken, the more forgiving it is. This is a very nice transition bit. We can run in this bit, or we can come out of a ring bit and put this on a horse that's ready to start to run, to start to get down on his belly and give us some fire. All right, then when we are wanting some control, a little shoulder control on the barrel, there are times when a horse starts picking up some speed and we need to get a little more lift on that shoulder. The amount from the mouthpiece up is going to give us lift. So we can see this is a long shanked one. The one I have on Wayne is short shanked. This one is hobbled at the bottom. When we get a long shank bit, if it isn't hobbled at the bottom and we pick up on it, they'll tip out to the side. And then when they're hobbled at the bottom, it comes on across and it tells the horse to come through. This is inlaid. The copper makes a horse's mouth moist, and the copper is inlaid so that it won't splinter. Copper is very soft, and if a horse chews on it, it'll splinter. So that's why it's inlaid. All right, so a long shanked one is going to give us a little more lift than the short shanked one. This is a running bit. This isn't a colt bit, this is a running bit. When we're wanting speed control and we want to help that horse get up into position.
I wanted to address one little problem-solving story, and it has to do with hand position. I'm in the old guard. I've been here for a long, long time. And if I could share something that would help people, young people, not have to fall into that, get tripped up. And so what it is when we half stack our hands and we put our inside hand slightly up, we keep one hand on each side of the mane. But when your inside hand is up, it lifts on your shoulder and that lifts on his shoulder. And it keeps us from dumping that ear. When he dumps that ear, he's going to dump his shoulder and we're going to roll into a barrel. So to keep that shoulder up, and we pick up on our shoulder, we half stack our hands, and when we go towards the barrel, we have his eye or his mind slightly to the right. So he is thinking about setting his right pivot leg when we're working with the right side. Now, as we're working baby colts, we work a horse back and down closer to the reiner's box, which is back by the saddle horn. As a horse becomes more finished, we can move on upstairs. But I have found that if we try to work a horse upstairs and he hasn't got a clue about what it is you're asking him to do, he gets extremely confused. And we end up with major problems. Now, if the horse is really broke to death and he's got all the buttons in there that he needs, go ahead and go upstairs. But if he doesn't have all the buttons he needs, if he doesn't know what it is that you're trying to ask him, then get your hands back down here, half stack those hands, and get that horse to break in the rib cage, and he will come to you. When I first started out in the barrel racing game, I was lucky enough to get to spend a little time with Ray Hunt, not nearly as much as I would have liked to. But the one thing that I really walked away with when I was visiting with Mr. Hunt was to make the right thing easy and the wrong thing difficult. And he didn't mean that I had to brutalize my horse when he did a wrong thing. He just meant that I needed to block it. I needed to make the wrong thing difficult, the right thing easy. So if I went to pick up on this horse's face and he was stiff, he didn't want to give it to me, I would make the wrong thing difficult. I would bump, bump, bump. I'd bump, bump, bump. When he gives his head around, I say thank you, and I give it back to him. So I made the wrong thing difficult, which is to brace against me, and I made the right thing easy and said thank you when he walked through that door and did what I asked him to do. So making the right thing easy and the wrong thing, block it, block it. Do something that tells him, no, 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 that's not what we want. Now we have to do as much as we need to do, as much as necessary, but as little as possible. And again, it's just Ray Hunt 101. And one more little Ray Hunt nugget. He told me, I was talking with him about the barrel racing thing, and I was quite young. And he said, Judy, you look in the mirror, and you have to believe in that person that's looking back at you. And I've thought of it a lot when I've come down alleys at Cheyenne, or alleys at the NFR, or wherever I might be that I'm feeling a little pressured up. I just run Ray Hunt's statement through my head. Believe in who you see when you look in that mirror.